Now, more than any other group, children are affected most by the effects of climate change. Yasser Hakim spoke with Jeremy Hopkins, UNICEF representative at the COP27 summit, about how global warming is putting pressure on social services such as schooling, health facilities, and clean water, especially in Africa.
We know that 1 billion children are at extreme or high risk of hazards related to climate change, and the majority of countries in which those 1 billion children live are in Africa. Physiologically, a child is generally more vulnerable to climate hazards such as water pollution, air pollution, heavy metals, these kind of things. A child is going to suffer more and is going to suffer lifelong consequences if exposed in early childhood.
What kind of big hazards that affect children, and which areas, especially in Egypt and Africa, what kind of problems are prevalent for children more than in other areas?
Some of the hazards that we face here in Africa are, of course, cyclones, floods, drought, and then here in Egypt specifically, heat waves. We've just done a study which shows that 5 million children in Egypt are already exposed to dangerous levels of heat wave, and that is only going to go up over time.
What kind of measures are you also taking in this regards, and are you presenting any ideas here in COP27?
The one and the most important one, perhaps relevant to your question, is the protection of social services. The children are going to suffer the consequences of climate change, and yet they bear no responsibility for it. And if we don't invest now, we will see schooling, health facilities, water facilities, child protection mechanisms, social protection mechanisms suffer the consequence of climate change.
What are the challenges or obstacles you face here at UNICEF to achieve these targets?
General awareness on climate change. We've done a perception survey here in Egypt, for example, and we see that only around 65% of young people had not heard of climate change. I'm actually very hopeful. One of the things we've achieved, I think, in this COP, we meaning all parties to COP, is putting young people and children a little closer to the conversation. Children have been all over the place, young activists, the Youth Pavilion has been a very engaging space. When you talk to young people, they don't outline the problems, they outline the solutions. They are solution-orientated, more than we are perhaps as adults.
Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you very much.